Hello, this is Susan Young. In this video, now pay attention, we're going to be covering money problems we didn't have 50 years ago. How about that? As children, we couldn't wait to grow up. But as we grew, many of us might have discovered that adulthood isn't all cracked up to it's to be. The older we get, the more complicated our lives get, and that includes the area of finances. When we were kids, it may have seemed like our parents always had their finances together, and no wonder. Things were a lot different a few decades ago. Today, we're dealing with a new set of financial problems our parents never had to face. While financial difficulties aren't new, it seems like money problems have become more complicated over the years. That's why we need to ensure a healthy financial future for ourselves and generations to come. Let's take a look back. Here are 7 money problems we didn't have 50 years ago, and the modern men for each. The first one is retirement money was guaranteed. In 1960, 41% of private sector workers were covered by pension plans. But with retirees living longer than ever and drawing retirement benefits for 20 to 30 years, companies can no longer sustain the pension plan model. Now workers are in charge of saving for their golden years themselves. Now the modern men for that, with a 401k and a Roth IRA, you're in control. You get to pick your mutual funds and contribution amounts. We would recommend saving at least 15% of your household income in good growth stock mutual funds. This modern men has a plus side you don't have to worry about the company going bankrupt and losing all your money. Second, identity theft wasn't an issue. Pretending to be someone else has been around since Jacob and Esau. But today, it's a different scale. If you had an account with Target, Home Depot, or eBay in recent years, you may have dealt with identity theft firsthand. In 2016, 15.4 million consumers lost a total of $16 billion to identity theft. Cases of identity theft that are more complicated to resolve are also on the rise. Account takeover fraud, or when someone hacks into an existing online account by stealing the login credentials, went up to 31% from 2015 to 2016, and it's even more today. Now, the modern men for this is to reduce your chances of getting hacked by canceling your credit cards. Protect your bank accounts and other finances with some inexpensive identity theft insurance. Should the worst occur, this insurance takes the hassle out of cleaning up your name. And third, healthcare didn't cost as much. 50 years ago, healthcare spending was already high at $23.3 billion. Now it's absurd at an estimated $2.71 trillion in 2015 and growing. So what's the average family cut of that? According to annual Milliman Medical Index, the typical cost of an employee-sponsored preferred provider organization plan, or PPO, for a family of 4 is $26,944. Just let that sink in. Now, the modern men for that, First, save up your full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. Next, see if you can lower your monthly premium with a higher deductible plan. Just be sure to check with an insurance pro like one of our endorsed local providers. Will have that information below before you change medical plans. First, take the money you're saving each month and put it in a health savings account, like an HSA, to cover deductibles, co-pays, contact lenses, or dental appointments. It's tax deferred and it gives you a cushion for your out-of-pocket expenses. Now, fourth, credit cards weren't in our wallets. Credit cards officially came on the scene in 1950 with the introduction of the Diners Club. However, this buy now, pay later concept didn't explode until the late 1970s. Now the average American has 2.6 credit cards, and of those with credit card debt, the average outstanding balance is $16,883. Yikes. Now the modern men for this is cut up your credit cards. All of them. Yes, even if you're the kind of person who usually pays off your balance in full each month, no one is above slipping up. Instead of charging stuff, save up for what you want before you buy it. Now, fifth, we didn't have truckloads of debt. In the early 1960s, the average American's debt was less than $4,000. Now it's a stunning $137,063. That includes credit cards, mortgages, auto loans, and student loans. And for some, it might be even higher than that. So the modern men for this is, if you're in debt, there's hope. Use the debt snowball method to pay off your debts from smallest to largest. When you start building momentum and your balances begin to shrink, you'll feel a huge weight leave your life. Once you're free from debt and other money problems, you'll be able to use your money for more important things like retirement, savings, kids' college tuition, and charitable giving. Now, sixth, the cost of living was a lot lower back then. In 1967, the average home price was $22,200. Wow. Today, the median home price in the United States is around $203,400. Of course, we know it's a lot higher than that now. That's a 816% increase over a 50-year period. In other words, things are just plain more expensive these days. Education, housing, food, transportation, and medical costs have soared. Now, the modern mend for all this is you got to cut back on big expenses to counteract a high cost of living. For example, if you live in a city where public transportation is a feasible way to get around, get rid of your car. Reduce your rent costs by finding a roommate. Keep up with higher costs by growing your income, either by working hard to earn a raise or bonus, or by taking a side gig. Now, you may even want to change your living situation entirely by relocating to a less expensive city. Certain areas of Tennessee, Texas, and Michigan are considered the least expensive places to live in the United States by the Council for Community and Economic Research, making them attractive relocation options for everyone from millennials to retirees. And I just happen to live in Michigan. Now, the last one, the seventh one, is budgeting was a way of life. These days, most consumers use plastic cards to spend money willingly. But back in the day, budgeting was a necessary thing. Without credit cards or debit cards, consumers needed to know exactly how much cash to withdraw during their weekly visit to the bank. I can remember my mom, she was doing the budgeting and she kept track of it very carefully for us 6 kids. Now, the modern men for this, budgeting is still essential. Without a budget, how can you be sure you're spending wisely, reaching your savings goals, and making a dent in your debt? Give the envelope system a try. Use cash for your day-to-day purchases, and you'll be able to gauge what you can afford and what you can't. Plus, paying with cash will make it harder to hand over your hard-earned money for stuff you may not need. So you'll want to make your money count. Your success has nothing to do with the generation you were born in. It has everything to do with you. Before you start longing for the financial good old days, remember that your money is what you make of it. It's in your control today. Deciding to get out of debt is an important step, and it's the first step. Educating yourself on smarter money habits will help you prepare for the unexpected and save for your future. You can get out and stay out of debt. Now, if you want help with your finances, this is what I suggest. Go to YouTube channel Zero Debt Coach. Brad Long can direct you with your finances. Brad and I will be working together to help you to be successful. When you go to his channel, tell him Stop Big Spending or Susan Young sent you there. Question of the day. How are you doing on your finances? And are you sticking to a budget? If you have anything to share, share below. How are you doing with this video so far? If you like this video, hit the like button below. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out my website at www.stopbigspending.com and leave me your email address at the Contact Us page, and I will inform you on videos coming up. I'll see you next week here on YouTube, and see you in social media. You have a great week.